It's the Real Estate Podcast, brought to you by ANZ Home Loans for financial well-beings.
Well, the Reserve Bank of Australia has lifted the cash rate by 25 basis points, reinforcing its commitment to bringing inflation under control. Just a quick podcast today because we were unable to connect with you yesterday. The move reflects ongoing concern, doesn't it, that price pressures remain more persistent than expected, particularly across services and the housing market. Now, for borrowers, it adds further pressure and pain on those repayments and borrowing capacity, while for the property market, it continues to act as a brake on momentum. Well, maybe not for Perth, but certainly for the rest of the country. Buyer activity is likely to remain measured with affordability constraints front of mind. However, with housing supply still tight, this rate increase is unlikely to trigger sharp price falls, instead contributing to a more slower moving market environment. Anthony Landau is here. Anthony, we had some of those technical issues yesterday. We were not able to bring that announcement in real time. Computers, they're great when they work, a nightmare when they fail. So overnight, Anthony, mortgage holders across Australia, they brought out the calculators, they were doing their numbers and realising more of that pain to come.
Obviously, mortgage holders are adjusting. I think most mortgage holders had already accepted that was probably the likely outcome, and it's now been implemented.
Yeah, we were talking about this last week, and some banks are sort of saying, well, there may be some relief towards the end of the year. I said last week, I can't see a rate cut this year. Might be proven wrong on that, but I would expect to see another rate increase or two.
Well, yeah, look, on the back of last week's inflationary data, on the back of what we're seeing, I think we are looking at least one more rate rise, maybe two. Some of the banks are talking about that. It's going to depend on some factors out of our control, geopolitically, and it's also going to depend on government reining in their expenditure and domestically bringing inflation back into line. It could be another one or two this calendar year, absolutely.
All right. Well, thank you for that, Anthony. Yes, unfortunately, if you are a mortgage holder, you are going to have to dig deeper. And in her comments at the press conference yesterday, Michelle Bullock, the Reserve Bank Governor, emphasised that inflation is still too high and proving stubborn in key areas. She noted that the board is prepared to act further if required, but decisions will remain data dependent. Bullock acknowledged that the strain on households are there, while stressing the importance of restoring price stability. She also indicated that while progress has been made, the path back to target inflation is likely to be gradual rather than immediate. The problem is that nobody knows what the Iran crisis is going to do for the remainder of the year. It is a stalemate, and this has all really got to play out still, doesn't it? So the RBA, like us, they're watching to see what happens. We are back tomorrow, and this time in Perth. I mentioned Perth because of those growth numbers. We'll be talking about that for our Thursday. Have a great Wednesday. Catch you back tomorrow morning with the Real Estate Breakfast.
We connect you to the best real estate information across Australia. The Real Estate Podcast.